morning, everyone. It's a delightful morning as we welcome you to the prestigious Indian Institute of Technology IIT Delhi's Open House event for 2023. My name is Hima Smita. I'm a PhD scholar in IIT Delhi and I'm your host for today's event. IIT Delhi stands as one among the distinguished group of 23 ISDs, all established with the primary objective of being hubs of excellence in India for education, research, development in the field of science, engineering and management. IIT Delhi established as College of Engineering in 1961 and throughout its notable history, it has nurtured and empowered over 48,000 students who have graduated in diverse fields including engineering, science, management, humanities and social sciences. Among these, 5,000 have earned their PhD degree, while over 15,000 have obtained BTech degree. I am happy to say that these graduates, now spanning the globe, serve as a scientist, technologist, business leader, visionary entrepreneurs. Some have even ventured beyond their original discipline, venturing into the administrative services, active role in politics, and many more. They have made significant contribution not only to the nation's development, but also the progress of industries across the globe. Today, we have gathered here for the IIT Delhi's 16th Open House event, and we are happy to bring you impressive research and product development project. This one-day event dedicated to offering you a comprehensive glimpse of various departments, schools, centers, and the numerous state-of-art facilities, laboratories available at IIT Delhi. Continuing the tradition of the last 15 years, and after COVID-19 pandemic, we are back. And this year's open house promises to present the finest of the project to the school student, technology enthusiast, students and colleagues from the other technical institute and the general public. The purpose is to motivate young children to see the laboratories of the various departments and encourage them to build the nations from the grassroots level and to utilize the opportunities to clarify your doubts about the engineering technology and the latest research which are happening in IIT Delhi. This event also aimed to allow the IIT Delhi student to showcase their work to the society, which is one of the most important target audience for the work they are doing at here. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining in today's IIT Delhi's Open House event. Now, I would like to call Professor Sunil Jha on the stage, who is the chairperson of Open House Event 2023. A big round of applause to our chairman. I also would like to call all the dignitaries of the Open House event, our Dean of R&D, Professor Naresh Bhatnagar, our Director, Sir, of IIT Delhi, Professor Rangan Banerjee, our guest, Dr. Srijant Pal Singh, Professor Supreet Singh, and Professor S.K. Saha on the stage. Everyone, a big round of applause. Thank you, everyone. Now, I request Professor Jha to felicitate our director with the bouquet. Thank you, sir. Now I request Professor Bhatnagar, Dean of R&D of IIT Delhi, to felicitate Dr. Srijant Pal Singh. Thank you. Now I request Professor Jha to felicitate Professor Supreet Singh. Thank you.
Now I request Professor Bhatnagar to felicitate Professor S.K. Saha. Thank you. Keeping the tradition alive of starting the event with the lamp lighting, we request Director Sir, Dr. Srijan Pal, Supreet Sir, S.K. Saha Sir to come forward and light the lamp. Since the technology is the heart of IIT Delhi, so this lamp lighting is also based on the latest technology and will light with the help of app. Thank you everyone. Thank you. A big round of applause for the lighting of the lamp. Now, I would like to call Dean of R&D of IIT Delhi, Professor Naresh Bhatnagar for the welcome remarks. Welcome, sir.
Um, so, very good morning to all the visitors on this open day. On behalf of IIT Delhi and on behalf of the organizing of Open House 2023, after a span of 4 years, I welcome one and all to visit IIT Delhi, its lab, its products, meet all the students who have been working behind, and I also welcome all the teachers and all the general public who is here from Delhi NCR to have a view of IIT Delhi and its diversities. We are also delighted to host you today till 4 o'clock in the evening, and you can spend your time, assume it to be a picnic of sorts at IIT Delhi campus. So I welcome one and all, and I also welcome the chairman, Open House, Professor Sunil Jha, to give a few words here.
So good morning everyone and welcome to this grand event that we are hosting for all the students arriving here. They have already arrived over here. So the good thing is that this is a different kind of an event that you are going to witness today. It's a wonderful opportunity for the children like you, which was not available in our years basically. When we did our schooling, there was no opportunity to at least get a chance to visit IIT Delhi. Only once we get inside, then we'll be able to see the labs, the facilities, the research work that is going on. So this is really going to be a grand celebration for all of us. Believe me that to get the things set up and ready for today, we have almost 1,000 IIT Delhi fraternity working for this. So same way we have around 2,000 students arriving on campus today, almost all of the labs being kept open for all of you to visit around. So I'll just give you a quick brief of that, how we are going to use your day today, fine? So we have an inaugural session, which we are going to have till 11 o'clock. So after the basic initial talk, we will be having 3 invited speakers basically, or 3 invited talks, which you will certainly enjoy. We have a guest of honor, Dr. Srijan Pal Singh with us, who worked very closely with Dr. Kalam. So we have a session with him. And then we have two interesting topics, basically. When you think about technology, you always think about the space research and the robots, basically. So we have two speakers which are available here to give you a glimpse of what is happening in the domain of space research. So certainly two missions, you all are aware about that, Chandrayaan and Aditya. So we have Professor Supreet Singh talk about that. We have Professor Saha, who is well-known figure in the field of robotics. He is going to talk about the robotics and also touching about how the technology is impacting the rural, the public in India. So that's how we'll take the initial inaugural function. Post that you have now distributed activities across the campus actually. So we'll initially invite you to visit the lecture hall complex where we have all the exhibits being placed. And there are posters basically through which you get to know about the research that is going on. So most of the UG, PG students will be, undergraduate and postgraduate students will be there to exhibit and share their experience with you. Apart from that, we have very good contribution coming up with the students who will be spending time other than studies into the clubs. So we have a good exhibits around by the student clubs basically. So all technical clubs are being invited to be there in the lecture hall complex. So you can just spend time, understand what is being on display. Then you have another opportunity to go inside the labs and visit the department. So then again on this side of the road where we are sitting right now, we have all the department, most of them are here. Some of the labs are in LSC also. So it's up to you, based on your interest, you can just visit the labs, go there, see what has been displayed, what kind of labs are there, what kind of projects students are working on. So I think that's how you can just spend your time till lunch, that is 1 o'clock, and then you take your snacks and then continue after that on. So 2:30 we will have a closing function after this, fine. The another interesting thing what we have implemented this year is that we would like to at least know where you are visiting. So all the teachers, those who have registered for this function, please log in into the same page. You will have access to that application. Then you have a provision to scan a QR code. So once you will be visiting a lab, the volunteers will be having this kind of a tag with them. So this tag is basically indicating which lab they are in and who is the person. So once you interact with him, he show a demonstration to you. Please scan the QR code of the volunteer there. So it means that you have visited that lab and who is the volunteer demonstrated that, we get that information to understand where exactly you will be visiting, and then we will also finding out who all volunteers have just shown that. I will encourage as much as lab you can visit on. Certainly we have a surprise for you in the closing function. So please make use of the time, enjoy the day. We are all there to help you out. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Professor, for this beautiful introduction of the open house event. Now, I'd like to call upon Director of IIT Delhi, Professor Rangan Banerjee, for inauguration of the event. Sir.
Good morning. It's so nice to see so many of you here. How many of you are in the 12th standard? Raise your hands. How many in the 11th? Okay, anyone who's not in 11th and 12th and not a teacher? Okay, very few. Okay, how many teachers here? Okay, this is just to see that, you know, it's not a one-way communication, right? So unfortunately, we can't speak to each other. This is the only way in which we can communicate. The objective of this open house is for us to show you what we do at IIT Delhi. Second objective of this open house is for us to interest you in coming here. How many of you would like to come here as a student? Okay, quite a few, okay. Even if you are not interested in coming here as a student, you may have other interests. You may want to see what is science and engineering. And today, we have gone beyond science and engineering. We have design, we have management, we have humanities, we have public policy, we have cognitive science, we have economics. We are a full-fledged university. We try to do exciting things in the classroom, outside the classroom, and you'll interact with students. You'll see some of the projects. We try to do things which impact the real world, and again there. So we hope that you will interact, you'll ask questions, and you'll take full benefit of this day. We have a few lectures, but we have a lot of interactive sessions also. So the whole idea is for you to take an informed decision about your future, ask questions, and it need not end here. Subsequently also, if you have any queries through your teachers, we can also organize more interactions. It's important for you, you are the future, you must decide your future, and you must decide it based on, make an informed choice, see what excites you, find your passion. We are happy to be part of that journey where you can find your passion, and I hope some of you create that passion and that journey with IIT Delhi. So we are delighted to be hosting you, and we look forward to more interactions with you. This open house is happening after a few years, the COVID break and then the year after that. So we are really excited to be hosting you, and we hope that you have a very nice day today, and we hope that we'll give you many reasons to keep coming back to IIT Delhi. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir, for your kind words. Now we have our guest of honor, Dr. Shizan Pal Singh. So who will be sharing his experience and journey with Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. So he'll be sharing that. Before that, I think I request all the dignitaries can take the front seat, and then we will have the presentation. I will give a little bit. So today we are having with us Dr. Shizan Pal Singh. He is an IIM Ahmedabad gold medalist, then worked as an advisor and officer on special duty to the 11th President of India, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, from 2009 to 2015. He was associated with Indian Institute of Space Science and Technology, IIST, a research and education ventures of ISRO. In 2012, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam and Shizan Pal Singh founded the Kalam Foundation, where Dr. Shizan was appointed as a managing director by the President Kalam. After the demise of Dr. Kalam in 2015, he continued the visions of the 11th President by running the banner of the Kalam Center, and now he is the mentor and the founder. Before start the talk, there is a little intro of our guest speaker from Amitabh Bachchan. So I request volunteer to play this.
और पब्लिक स्पीकर थे। वेटरन इंडिया
without further ado, I would like to request Dr. Shrizan Pal Singh to present and share your experience with our audience. Thank you, sir.
Good morning, all of you. Energy. No breakfast. Very good. Pollution is having the effect or no breakfast you got? Huh? Okay, good morning, good morning. First of all, I have to... Can you hear me? At the top, last person. You can hear. You can hear. Certificate. Okay. First of all, I would like to greet all the members of the faculty, the organizing team here for this open house day. It's not easy to manage this, and it's also, I was telling the Honorable Director, that it's a very great initiative. It's a wonderful opportunity for all of you to see what the nation's best institution is doing in the cutting edge of research and technology. You're very lucky to be here. I tried writing JEE, couldn't get through here. So I'm here, you're also here. So we should make the best out of the time we have here at IIT. Okay, you'll do that? Very good, then you're good fellows. Okay. I would like to greet the great Professor Ranvir Banerjee, who is a nation's leading mind in energy, and especially green fuels. He is a fantastic research work. Of course, he's also the director of this fantastic institution. I would like to greet Professor Bhatnagar, Professor S.K. Saha, Professor Sunil Jha, who is also the chairman, and he's been very diligently working on a daily communication to make sure this goes so beautifully and so well. And of course, we have a young Professor Supreet Singh, who will also be talking to you about space and ISRO, which is very fantastic. I would like to hear that. Great. So I greet all the other faculty members, teachers, students, maybe some parents if you are here, and all other the student volunteers who have been working so tirelessly to make this happen. Friends, before I begin, I want to ask you, how many of you are okay if I speak a little bit in Hindi also? Do you want me to talk in Hindi?
Yes, sir, Hindi.
How many of you want Hindi? How many of you want English? Okay, so see, we are a democracy, so we have to Hindi wins. Okay, so थोड़ा हिंदी में बोलते हैं, थोड़ा इंग्लिश में मिक्स कर देते हैं. अभी मैं आगे बढ़ूं, इससे पहले मैं ये जानना चाहता हूं आपसे. आप लोग, डायरेक्टर सर ने बोला था आप लोग किस क्लास में हैं, तो आप लोग 12th में हैं, 11th में हैं, some of you are in 10th, उससे भी कुछ नीचे होंगे 9th, 8th में. But I want to ask you a very important question today. How many of you want to become engineers? Engineer, a lot of you engineer. I am also an electrical engineer, okay? So you are my tribe, okay? How many of you want to become doctors? Doctors, okay, some are doctors. Doctors are behind, engineers in front. Okay, natural. Okay. What is the engineer? You engineer fellows, you don't get happy. Because the doctors will save you, they are behind you to save you. Okay? So doctors are a very hard-working community, very hard-working. Very difficult to become a doctor. So I've seen the education of doctors is very difficult. Now tell me how many of you want to become IAS officers or IPS officers or IFS officers? Few. How many of you want to become, want to join the armed forces? Army, Navy, Air Force. Okay, few. Okay. How many of you want to become fashion designers? Very few. Okay. Very few fashion designers here. How many of you want to become sports people? Sportswoman, sportsman? Okay, a few. How many of you, okay, I'll ask the questions. You don't tell them. You don't tell each other. Their dream. Okay. How many of you want to become actor or musician? Why laughing? Okay. Actor or musician? Okay. How many of you want to become astronauts? Very good. You know, hands down. Okay, listen. See, you know what? India is on the mission of Gaganyaan. I think there's a professor who will talk to you about it. today, as an Indian kid, you can aspire to become an astronaut. And you know what we will call them? Not astronaut, not cosmonaut. What we will call them? Gagannaut, right? We will call them Gagannaut or Gagan Yatri, okay? So how many of you will become Gagan Yatris? Okay, some of you will become. We'll bring you back, don't worry, okay? How many of you want to become teachers? Teachers. Very good. Good, we need great teachers. Now I've got one final question. How many of you want to become political leaders? Very good. Very good. So, those of you who will become political leaders, you have to remember one thing. Dr. Kalam used to say, you should always do developmental politics. Okay? So you should do that. Will you do that? Right. Then the nation will be proud of you. Okay? Friends, I want to tell you one thing. Okay? Now I'll speak. You've spoken, now I'll speak. Okay? Then I'll ask you questions. You'll get time to speak. I want to tell you one thing. This, today, 2023, is the best time to be a young boy or a young girl in India. Whether you want to become doctor, engineer, fashion designer, astronaut, political leader, all of you, whatever you want to become, you can become that. Today, the whole world is fighting. Russia is fighting Ukraine, the whole Europe is involved in it. Israel is fighting in Palestine, and the whole that side of the world is involved in it. There is a conflict which is ongoing and brewing between China and Taiwan. Everywhere you go in the world, there is conflict. There is only one place where 1.5 billion people are living very peacefully. Where is that? Bharat. That's where we are living. India is growing today at a higher rate, economic growth, than any major economy. You know, Professor will talk to you about ISRO. I worked there in IIST. I worked with Dr. Kalam on many projects of space. I want to tell you one thing. When we landed Chandrayaan the 3rd, I was there on live TV, National Geographic. I told them one thing. We could have chosen to land on the equator. Very easy to land on the equator. Everybody can land on the equator. But where did we choose to land? That was difficult. You know, South Pole landing is very difficult because the surface is that way. The surface is uneven. There are craters. Solar system's second deepest crater is near the South Pole on the moon. Solar system, not Earth. Not Earth and moon. Whole solar system. And still we landed there because it is worth it. And India became the first country to do a complicated project and be the first one to do it. And this never happened. We were 4th country to be in space, we were 5th country, 6th country to go nuclear, the 3rd, 4th, good, which is good. Standing 3rd, 4th is also fine. But when you become first at doing something complicated, you know what happens? You have to learn only from yourself. There is nobody who will teach you. There is no book which will tell you that that person tried it, failed, you can learn from it. Or that person tried and succeeded, and now you can copy it. You don't have to do that. And that is the confidence this country has. And this is the country you are growing in. Okay? So be proud that you are in this Bharat, which is at, now we are saying, no, it's Swarnim Kal, it's the Amrit Kal of Bharat. You are in that Kal. And you are lucky to be here. It's a peaceful, fast-growing economy. Jobs are there, technology is there. Institutions like IIT are flourishing, the global recognition. We have more CEOs from India than perhaps any other country in the top companies. Let alone companies. We have prime ministers in foreign countries who are of Indian origin. Who would have thought that there's a British prime minister whose name is going to be Rishi Sunak, the same Britain who is ruling us. You know, I'm not saying we're ruling them. But you know what I'm saying, right? So that's how India is rising. So how many of you want to be in India and do something great? See, most of you. Smart fellows you are. Okay. The others will convince you. Don't worry. We'll bring you back after some time. Friends, when few days ago You saw this Gaganyaan? I was on NDTV that time at 8:45 a.m. when the launch was supposed to happen. I was live. And suddenly, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. And at 5, the meter stopped. No 4 happened. And they said, the mission is stopped. And we all thought, and we were live TV, so we all thought the mission has not failed, but something has gone wrong. So the ignition has been turned off. So the interviewer asked me, so what do you think? Do you think now the mission is, what has happened? I said, no, it's okay. Sometimes things don't happen. We will do it next time. Maybe a few days later, we will do it. We'll definitely do it. Then at 9:55, they called me again. And they said, you have to come online again live because I think they have an announcement to make. Nobody realized. At 10 o'clock, when I went online, nobody knew and the mission was launched. In 1 hour, we were able to rectify whatever went wrong and we had the confidence to do it again. In 1 hour. That's the faith. Then this fellow went up and you saw that visual and this service module and command module about 500-600 kilograms with a parachute, it fell into the Bay of Bengal. You saw that? Saw that? All of you saw that? All of you? Raise your hand. You are good guys. Good things you watch. Okay, you're watching good things. You're not watching Instagram reels. Okay. You are, huh? Okay, some Instagram reels, but some doesn't yet. Okay. Okay, so when this fellow was landing, this Gaganyaan was landing in the Bay of Bengal, it splashed into the water. You saw that? And then our Navy went and recovered it. I was thinking something. I was thinking that in 2023, when Gaganyaan landed in the Bay of Bengal, it was a success. But your mind, and I want to take your mind back now, in 1979. In 1979, when we launched our first satellite, our own satellite, using our own technology, that satellite went into, it's called Rohini, the first of it. That satellite, instead of going into the space, went into the same Bay of Bengal. And it was a catastrophic failure. Everybody laughed at us. And it is still today. Parts of it are still in the Bay of Bengal. Sunk deep. Failure. 2023, same Bay of Bengal. Success. It's a hallmark. It's an achievement. It's also a testimony that in life, sometimes you will get into the Bay of Bengal and fail. And sometimes you'll get into the same Bay of Bengal and the people will say success. Depends on your mission, but also depends on your resilience. In 1979, you know who was the mission director when SLV-3 happened? SLV-3 is a satellite launch vehicle. SLV, okay? You know who was the mission director in 1979? Can you guess? A very easy guess. Vikram Sarabhai. It was not Dr. Vikram Sarabhai. Who was the mission director? Not ISRO. I also asked you ISRO director. ISRO chairperson was a different person. Who was the mission director? Young person, relatively young, about less than 40 years of age. Who was he? Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. Dr. Kalam was the mission director. And the ISRO chairperson was Satish Dhawan. Today, Dr. Satish Dhawan Space Center. Remember? That's where the launch happens? That person, 1979. 1979, Dr. Kalam. No resource. ISRO was a tiny office. No big computers. There were no computers anyways in India, cannot afford it. So in minimal budget, using bullock carts, using bicycles, we made our first rocket. And we said we will launch it. So when we started off, initially 1970s we were building, 1965 ISRO was started, 1964-65. ISRO started off as INCOSPAR and then it became ISRO in 1969. And then for 10 years we said we will launch our own satellite by our own technology into space. And you know the world said, the world ignored. The world did not pay attention to India. Why? Because when you say you're going to do something difficult, complicated, great, the first thing the world might do is ignore you. ये तो होगा ही नहीं इससे, कर ही नहीं सकता है, ये तो ऐसे सपने देख रहा है ना? And then 1979 when ISRO sent out a circular that please come, the foreign media, please come, see, we are going to do a launch, record it, telecast it. very few news channels. Back then there was no Twitter, no Facebook, nothing, not even in idea form it was existing. But all the mainstream news channels, when we called them, they would have doubted us. They would have said, how can India do it? This is a fake news, this is some fake stuff, this document is not true. कुछ नकली है, क्योंकि इंडिया कैसे कर सकता है? भारत तो बहुत गरीब देश है, भारत में तो खाना नहीं है, भारत में तो खाना उगाना भी नहीं आता अभी इनको ठीक से, सपेरों का देश है, ये कहाँ स्पेस में? तो हमारा स्पेस इज यूएस, रशिया, यूएसएसआर था तब, फ्रांस, माइटी यूके, पुराने गुलाम थे, तो ये गुलाम लोग कहाँ करेंगे ना? These were like us. India was a puppet state हमारा तो. They ignored us. Then they doubted us. But then when we validated how such है, then they came in 1979 and then they saw something happening. Okay, something is good, looks real. Then the launch happened. 4, 3, 2, 1, launch. In any space launch, the first stage is very difficult. You know how a rocket is launched, right? Lifts off, very heavy, and then it breaks into pieces, which is designed so that your fuel is spent and that part is left over, is left behind, and you have heard conservation of momentum, so the speed goes up, and that's how you achieve escape velocity. So typically this rocket SLV-3 was supposed to do 4 stages, right? So the first stage, second stage, third stage, and fourth stage we would have made it to space. First stage is very difficult, बहुत मुश्किल होता है, ज़्यादातर रॉकेट फर्स्ट स्टेज में गिर पड़ते हैं. तो जब फर्स्ट स्टेज शुरू हुई, सक्सेसफुली सब ताली बजाने लगे, तो वो जो लोग जिनको हमने बुलाया था, they also had to clap. They also started applauding. Why? Not because they liked you, not because they were so happy that India has done it, but because when success starts coming, you have to clap. Right? You'll find a lot of such people in your life as well, who will clap because they have to. Right? But then something happened. Then Dr. Kalam's team saw this. When we stage 1 clear, stage 2, there's no oxygen. When you go to that level of the sky, there's no oxygen. So and we know it, so there's a liquid oxygen thing which you carry with the rocket. Half of the fuel is actually oxygen. And there's a valve which opens on its own, and then the oxygen flows into the fuel, and then the combustion keeps happening. Something, maybe, we don't know really what happened, but maybe there was moisture in this valve, and that froze. And that valve didn't turn, the oxygen didn't get into the rocket, and the rocket, instead of going up, went down, and went into the Bay of Bengal. 1979. You know what happened? Everybody laughed. And they said, हमने तो कहा ही था ये इंडिया से नहीं हो सकता, ये भारत कैसे करेगा, इनको करना ही नहीं चाहिए था, these guys are crazy, shouldn't do it. अभी चलो चलते हैं, हो गया. That is also what will happen in your life. Sometimes when you do great things and you will fail, which you will initially, there will be a lot of people who will say, I told you so. But then Dr. Satish Dhawan and young Dr. Kalam, they sat and then they had to face the press. Dr. Satish Dhawan said to all his people, all the young people, Dr. Kalam was also young, other young people, you guys go, I will address the media. And he said, see, we stayed 4 stages, 2 stages clear, 50% marks. We will come back next year, 1980, we will do it again. And then everybody thought that Bharat कुछ गलत कर रहा है, and Satish Dhawan ने कुछ गलती कर दी है. I think he's lost his head because अभी तो इतने करोड़ रुपए डाल दिए Bay of Bengal में. That's the news. India is doing fishing with space technology. India sinks so many crores in water. And that's how people mocked you. But in 1980, we said 1979 said again next year 1980 आ गया. 80 में फिर से गया सर्कुलर. इस बार किसी को डाउट नहीं हुआ, किसी ने इग्नोर नहीं किया, सब लोग दौड़े आ गए. और जैसे ये कैमरा लगा रखा है इन्होंने, वैसे ही कैमरा उन्होंने लगाया, रॉकेट की तरफ नहीं लगाया होगा, बे ऑफ बंगाल की तरफ लगाया होगा. No, you want to capture that moment because you fail once as a nation or as a person also, and the world may say you will fail every time. That's how it happened. Now, again, we knew what happened. Not a big deal. You have to just make sure that the valve opens. 3, 2, 1, launch. Stage 1 clear, stage 2 clear, stage 3 clear, stage 4 clear, and India became the 5th country in space. Okay? We became the 5th country in space in 1980. And then, when the press conference was happening, Satish Dhawan, he said to Dr. Kalam, you young Kalam, you fellow, I'm tired. I'm going home. Now you handle the press. And the leader of ISRO, the chairman of ISRO, did not handle the media when there was success. When there was failure, he said, I will handle. You all go. When there was success, he said, you all handle. I will go. I will share the success. And that is how ISRO became ISRO. Not because of just the technology, but because of the people, because of the leaders, because of leaders like Dhawan. And that's why we call Satish Dhawan Launch Center. You know, it's called that today. Because he's the one who gave the success away. So when you become leaders, and all of you will become leaders in about 10 years, remember this, a true leader will share the success, a true leader will absorb the failure. That's how great teams are built. Right? Now from that journey, this is a story which Dr. Kalam used to tell me. I shared it with you. From that journey till today, India has done great things in space, और आगे भी करेगा. आप लोगों में से कितने लोग तो एस्ट्रोनॉट बनेंगे, कुछ लोग स्पेस साइंटिस्ट भी बनेंगे, कुछ लोग रॉकेट्स बनाएंगे, कुछ लोग फ्यूल बनाएंगे, बहुत सारी चीजें बनेंगी. और आप सब लोग ही भारत 2035 तक अपना स्पेस स्टेशन बनाएगा. 2040 तक भारत किसी भारतीय को मून पर भेजेगा. अब उसमें से हो सकता है there's a girl, and if that happens, you'll be the first woman in the world on Earth to go on moon, because there's no woman who's gone on moon. So which girl will go to the moon? See, 2 are here, 3, 4. See, all the first woman on moon. बहुत सारे ऊपर डॉक्टर्स भी हैं, कुछ पीछे वाले डॉक्टर्स भी जाएंगे, इंजीनियर्स भी जाएंगे. वेरी गुड. ओके. आप लोग एक दूसरे को बताएं लगते हैं. चलो. Okay, great. So we have got some tough competition. We will only send, usually one time only 2 people go. So you girls will have to decide. Okay. So that is why you need to study. If you study well, if you come here in IIT Delhi, good chance. So if you study well, see, because sending a person to the moon is very costly. Isn't it very costly? So that is why you have to send only the best. So 2 things you have to do. One, you have to study very hard in life. Second, you have to remain healthy in your life. I know Delhi pollution these days, take care, okay? But otherwise also, you should eat healthy, you should sleep healthy, you should not spend too much time with your phone. It's very unhealthy, it's very addictive. So ensure that you do the right things. You have to spend 24 hours in your life every day. That's not what you get. Now what do you do with it is your choice. You have to sleep well, you have to eat well, you have to exercise, you have to ensure that your emotional health is fine. You know, you don't get disturbed easily. Sometimes failures will come in all kinds of things, in all kinds of ways, so be careful. Okay? Now I want to give you, in the end, how much time do I have? 5 minutes I have. Okay, then I want to give you 2 things then. Otherwise I would have given you only 1 thing. You see, I want you to, there's a very famous poem by a very famous poet called Jalaluddin Rumi. Have you heard of Rumi? Right, so this poem is, I found, very interesting poem. It's for young people like you. And the poem is about how to achieve great success. And what I've done, the poem is slightly, I've modified it. And I want us to do this poem together, right? So you also want to speak, I know, right? So you get a chance to speak. The poem title is Wings to Fly. What is the title? Wings to Fly. Very good. So I will repeat. I will say and you repeat. Okay? I am born with potential. You're born, right? Correct? Am I correct? Okay. I am born with goodness and trust. I am born with ideas and dreams. I am born with greatness. I am born with confidence. I am born with wings. I am not meant for crawling. So I won't. I have wings. I will fly. I will fly. I will fly. Will you fly? Yes, sir. To fly, you need to know that all of you have wings, right? And don't worry about other person's wings. You are unique. The world will tell you that you are like everybody else. Okay? But I want to tell you one thing. Every one of you is unique. Don't worry about what the other person is doing, what is his dream, her dream, how unique is that person, this person, how is that neighbor's son and you know, Chachaji's daughter. Don't worry about that. You are unique. Every one of you is unique, and every one of you will grow at your own pace, in your own direction. Just ensure you know basic things in life. Don't waste your time. Acquire knowledge. You have to have a dream in life. What do you need to have? Dream in life. Small aim is a crime. Dr. Kalam said, no? Small aim is a crime. Second thing, you have to acquire a lot of knowledge in places like IIT. Today, you have to ensure your time is well utilized. Third thing you have to do is very, very hard work. Very hard work. Dr. Kalam, I remember, you know, on his final day, 27 July 2015, I was with him. And we were going from a flight here to Guwahati and from Guwahati using a car to Shillong. You know, 1 day trip, and he was carrying 3 fat books to read. Because I said, why 3 books, sir? I had to lift the bag. I said, very heavy, sir, what are you doing? So he said, no, 1 book is because I'm reading this book. I said, okay, so you're reading this book, take this. No, but I'll finish this book in my estimate by 8 p.m. today. Okay, so then carry another book. He said, yes, so there are 2 books. But then I said, why the 3rd book? He said, but what if the 2nd book is not good? Right? So, because at 83 years of age, he said, not a moment I will waste in not acquiring knowledge. Every moment, acquire knowledge. And it's fun. You have to enjoy the process. I know sometimes studies are boring. Sometimes it happens. But you have to look at it in totality. You have to enjoy knowledge. Right? And once you start enjoying that process, it takes time. 21 days to make a habit. 21 days, you'll get addicted to Instagram Reels. 21 days, you can get addicted to knowledge. But 21 days, you have to do. Then you tell me, I can't do it 22nd day, I will condone you. But you try for 21 days. Okay? And the last thing you need to do is perseverance, which means you will fail. And you will fail again. But if you keep trying, you will succeed. Okay? It is valid for ISRO. It is valid for DRDO. It is also valid in your life. Now in the end, you see, since we are remembering Dr. Kalam, I want to share an oath for youth. Okay, you guys are young, huh? Yes. All young Indians, solid voice. Good morning, you are so solid. Let's see if you're solid now. So this is an oath which Dr. Kalam used to give. And this is meant for all boys and girls of this country, and also those people who think that they are young in their mind. Because there's one which is young in the, you know, sometimes I found people who are very young in age, but their mind is old because they've stopped learning. Sometimes I found people who have age and experience, but they are still very young in mind because they keep learning. So anyone who thinks they are young in mind can take this oath. Not my oath, it is Dr. Kalam's oath. So I will say something and you repeat, okay? Okay, we'll do that? Yes, sir. You guys have good breakfast. I will have a goal and work hard to achieve that goal. I realize that small aim is a very good. So small aim is a crime. Now if you do small aim, you catch it. Okay. I will work with integrity and succeed with integrity. My voice went down in succeed with integrity. You know, you will succeed with integrity. You know, integrity is very important. Satyata, nishtha, बहुत important चीजें हैं. Life में when you go out, you know, I have so many people who I recruit, they work with me and so on. I want to tell you one thing. It doesn't matter how much talented you are, that's secondary. But if you are trustworthy, if you have high integrity, high ethics, it's far more important. Remember that. Okay, next. I will be a good member of my family, a good member of the society, a good member of the nation, and a good member of the world. Be a global citizen. We did G20, and very soon when these girls will go to moon, a good member of solar system. Okay. Okay. Wherever I am, whoever I meet, one thought will come to my mind. That is, what can I give? What can I? What can I? You know, Dr. Kalam used to say, the ulta of what can I give is what? What can I? Take. He said, this is the root of every problem. You want to take from the environment, see what is happening outside. You know, you can't see. Or you can't even see. It's so smoggy. Why? Because we are all worried about what we can take. We're not worried about what we can give. Right? You go to an office, if people start thinking, what can I take? Corruption happens. So everything goes wrong if people start thinking, what can I take? So you have to do, what can I give? Okay? Now, last point. Okay, last point is very important. Last point, we are all members of Bharat, of India. This is Indian Institute of Technology. So, बहुत आवश्यक है कि हम लोग राष्ट्र के लिए क्या करेंगे. So, let's take this last point. Okay? Ready? Ready? My national flag. My national flag. Flies high in my heart. High in my heart. And I will bring glory to my nation. What will you bring? What will you bring? Very good. Each one of you must have now a chapter in the book of history of Bharat. Okay? Will you do that? If you do that, you will be called here and you will be asked to give lecture to the next generation. Okay? So you do that and you will become like Dr. Kalam. Okay? So my best wishes to all of you. Okay, I have a surprise to you. So my team, they have developed, you have heard of artificial intelligence? Yes, sir. Do you want to, how many of you wanted to be having Kalam as a teacher? Dr. Kalam as a teacher. How many? Okay. See, now we cannot do that in a physical world. Okay? Because Dr. Kalam passed away in the physical world in 2015. Okay, see, it works. Okay, but we can do in a digital world. So I have asked our team, a very brilliant team of scientists and researchers, to run you through. So we will run you and we'll show you a very special person on an AI, and there will be a quiz. So all of you who are not paying attention, oh no. No, the quiz is very simple and I will ask a vote. Okay, so you have to vote because I can't ask each one of you. So now I'll ask for a vote and whoever has the most vote, that option we will take. But I want you to, see. Right, okay, light off.
Dear young Indians,
Lights.
as you know, I passed away in physical form in 2015, but I am now back in 2023 as a digital avatar. With all of you, I am going to ask you some questions and I want to see if you can answer them correctly. Are you ready?
Are you ready? Yes. How to respond? Okay. Okay, so let's see. I'm just a quiz coordinator. The quiz master is there. Okay.
Which element is in nuclear reactors to control the chain reaction? I repeat, which element is in nuclear reactors to control the chain reaction?
Okay, how many of you say it is uranium? Okay, how many of you say it is phosphorus? How many of you say it is boron? It's boron. Well, if I go by the democracy, it is uranium which is one. So let's see. I will answer this. No, wait. Let's see if it is right or wrong. Okay? Just because enough people have voted, it doesn't mean it is right. Okay? So we're doing audience poll. Okay. So ready? Silence, otherwise we'll not hear Dr. Kalam. Okay? Silence. 1, 2, 3, launch. Silence. Okay? Now let's see. You said uranium.
This is not correct. But a good attempt.
The right answer was
Dogs were the first animal who started living with humans about 9,000 years ago. It was the second animal to be domesticated by humans.
okay. So which was dogs were the first animal to be domesticated? How many to say it's a pig? How many to say it's a cow? How many to say it's a sheep? Sheep and cow and those competition. Okay, so whoever says sheep, say sheep. Whoever is louder, I will take. Okay, how many say cow? Okay. Okay, that doesn't mean you're right. Okay, ready? Let's see.
This is not correct.
Right answer was a pig. On the speakers, we will try to get it back, but I will read it out for you. Okay? Okay, silence, I'll launch 1, 2, 3. Okay? Okay, good. This will start.
Which element is a nuclear reactor?
So boron was correct, right?
You are absolutely correct.
If it was
I
boron.
am proud of your knowledge.
Okay, this was pig. Let's go.
Dogs, you are right. Well done. Which of these is not homicide? My team and I made for India. I repeat, which of these is not homicide? My team and I made for India.
How many says Brahmos? How many of you say it is Prithvi? Nobody. Okay, one person. Two daring people say it's Prithvi. How many people say it's Apollo? Clearly Apollo wins. Okay. So we'll go with Apollo.
You are absolutely correct. I am proud of you.
Okay.
What is the name of the famous whale in India? Fighting whale. I repeat. What is the name of the famous whale in India? Fighting whale.
How many people says Mirage? Nobody. Okay. 0 votes for Mirage. Okay. How many says Tejas? Oh, all of you are into Tejas. Sukhoi? Sukhoi? Okay, 1, 2 people. Okay. So clearly Tejas wins.
You are correct, my friends. Well done.
Last question.
Between which two planets must be well, known asteroid belt of the solar system. I repeat, between which two planets belt the well-known asteroid belt of the solar system.
How many people say Mars and Earth? Raise your hand. Okay, very few. How many people say Mars and Jupiter? Majority. Saturn and Jupiter? Very few people. Okay. So we'll go with?
You are absolutely correct. I am proud of you.
Okay, that was not the right score. Actually, you guys got 3 out of 5. I replayed the quiz. So good, well done. 3 out of 5 is also not bad. Remember in 1979 we got 2 out of 4. So good things will happen. Well done, and you are an excellent audience. Have a wonderful day. And if there's some Q&A, do you want me to take it from here, or is there time for Q&A? You don't have? Okay, so I've taken the time. Q&A has happened. Okay. So great, well done, and enjoy a wonderful time. And I thank once again IIT Delhi for calling me here. I look forward to seeing you again. Bye.
Thank you, Dr. Srijan, for sharing your journey with our audience, which is truly motivating for the audience, our young children. Thank you so much. A big round of applause to Dr. Srijan. Now, I request Professor Vatnagar to give a memento to our guest of honor, Dr. Srijan Palsing. I request both of you, please come on the stage. Thank you so much. Now we'll have our next speaker, Professor Sukhpreet Singh, Assistant Professor of IIT Delhi. Professor has done his doctorate from IIT Delhi under the astrophysicist Professor Dhanu Padmanabhan. Also, he was the recipient of Dr. D.S. Kothari Postdoc Fellow at University of Delhi and then SCRT overseas and made an Accelerate Fellow at University of New Brunswick. Professor had joined IIT Delhi in 2020. Also, his research interest area are the classical and quantum gravity, astrophysics and cosmology. With this, I welcome Professor to deliver your talk to the audience.
Good morning to all of you. I'm sure all of you are very excited, as much as we are, to see the scientific process of our country, especially the space missions that we have had. The recent ones, Chandrayaan and Aditya. I'm going to be talking about both of them today, and especially about the Aditya mission, because that is something which is very close to my own fascination and research. So we know that India is on the moon, and we are on the way to the sun. The success of these missions, I must remind you, it requires a combination of engineering, physics and mathematics in all their domains and sub-branches. Okay? You need all three of them combined for the success of all these missions. And the Indian Space Research Organization, with the Chandrayaan missions, have had 3 missions till now, The third one was recent one, the Chandrayaan-3, which you all must have seen with great excitement. We've had 2 successful orbiter missions, one successful rover, a lander mission and a rover module, which went onto the surface of the moon, and we completed several objectives in all the 3 runs. And we did everything very efficiently by using orbiter raising maneuvers that use the spacecraft to swing around the Earth and catapult it towards the moon, where it gets captured in the lunar orbit and subsequently the lander module gets deployed. The success of the missions carried by the Indian Space Research Organization in Chandrayaan has had several objectives. We discovered water on the moon. We mapped the far side of the moon, the side of the moon which we cannot see because it is tidally locked to us. We only see one side of the moon, the other side we don't see at all. We were able to map the far side of the moon. We achieved the mapping of the chemical structure of the moon, of the full entire surface, detection of sulfur, and then we explored the South Pole where no one has gone before. The rover also took scientific plasma and seismic measurements of the lunar surface, and we also studied the temperature variability. So it's been a great success of Chandrayaan mission that has provided us with valuable data which would be used for further future missions. So we have made a mark on the moon. Let us now move on to the sun, our nearest and personal star. It's one of my own favorites. Okay. The sun is the source of all energy on Earth, the primary source. Everything goes down from there. Okay. But it not just gives light, it's a very active star, which is seen over here through its solar cycle, which is of 11 years. So what you see is the animation being played is of, it's not really an animation, actually the image of the sun showing the sun through 2 solar cycles from 1997 to 2020. Okay? So you see there is a flurry of activity on the sun's surface, which is usually not visible to us because the sun is very bright. We cannot really see what all activity is going on. But if we look from the space, we see there's a great deal of activity. And this activity is due to hot plasma on the surface of the sun and the strong magnetic fields which it has. Okay? These strong magnetic fields and hot plasma give rise to the outer atmosphere of the sun, which we call as the corona. The corona happens to be 1,000,000 degrees Kelvin hot. Okay? The surface temperature of the sun, how many of you know the surface temperature of the sun? Can you raise your hand? What is the surface temperature of the sun? It's around 6,000 Kelvin. So you go from 6,000 Kelvin to 1,000,000 degrees Kelvin in just a matter of 300 kilometers on height when you go to the atmosphere of the sun. It is that hot. And this corona is usually very faint and is not visible to us from the earth because the sun itself is very bright and we also have a bright sky to take care of. The corona is constantly spewing out particles to billions of kilometers in space, which we call as the solar wind. And the solar wind affects all of us. However, we are kept safe by the Earth's own magnetic field, which deflects the solar wind and gives rise to the majestic phenomena of the auroras or the northern and the southern lights. But however, sometimes large solar flares and solar winds can disrupt communication systems on Earth. So it is very important for us also to understand space weather. Now, as I said, we usually cannot see the solar corona due to the brightness of the sun. However, when it is the time of during the eclipse, the corona becomes visible. because the surface of the moon, it comes in front of the sun and hides it. So then we can see the solar corona. Here are some of the glimpses of our own research on the solar corona done during the solar eclipses. We have gathered data during the solar eclipses from the expeditions, which were partially funded by the IIT Delhi alumni. We're very grateful about. And here is some of our own research on the solar corona. But as I said, we cannot see the corona except during the eclipses, and eclipses are not very frequent. Or you have to make very special instruments called coronagraphs. Also, the sun emits light in various wavelengths. It's not just the visible light which we get, but also radio, X-rays, UV, and all sorts, infrared. Many of these other wavelengths are actually blocked by our atmosphere, and which is a good thing, because UV, you all know, is harmful for us, right? We don't want UV light to be coming on to the surface of the earth. So it gets blocked. But it is very important for us to understand how the sun emits in all different wavelengths, to understand what is the physics of the sun, what is driving it. So therefore, in order to do that, we need to go out to space, and that is where the Aditya L1 mission comes in, because it is a space-based solar mission. For the first time, India has sent a scientific observatory 1.5 millions of kilometers away from the Earth towards the sun, to a point we call as the L1 point, where the spacecraft will hover around in a halo orbit. It will be there in equilibrium, constantly looking at the sun, 24/7, 365 days. There is no rising, there is no setting. There is no atmosphere to worry about. There is no hindrance at all. So it will be keeping a constant watch on the sun for us and gather data, which will be crucial for us to understand the solar physics. Again, the Indian Space Research Organization has employed efficient maneuvers to send the spacecraft to the L1 point, which is 1.5 million kilometers away from us. As of now, it has left the orbit of the Earth and has gone on towards this journey to the L1 point and cruising towards that. Okay? We'll soon be there. Aditya L1 also has several objectives to complete. We'll be studying the chromosphere and the corona of the sun, the coronal heating problem, the coronal mass ejection in the loops, the physical particle environment at L1, that is the solar wind. It will also study processes in multiple layers beneath the corona. And finally, as I remarked, space weather is something which is very important for us to understand the solar dynamics, and Aditya will also be studying the space weather. This it will do by various payloads and instruments that it has on board. We have the VELC, the Visible Emission Line Coronagraph. We have the SUIT, which is the Solar Ultraviolet Imaging Telescope. Remember, I told you UV is something which we cannot do from the Earth because it is blocked by the atmosphere. So we can do it from space. So SUIT is there to do that. And then we have the Solar Low Energy X-ray Spectrometer, which will be studying X-rays from the sun.
Minutes in the hall. So something what Professor Supreet is sharing is something which should be delighting you and get proud of it, what Srijan has just mentioned about it. So I just want to request you to please maintain a silence in the hall.
Yeah, I'm sure everyone is excited over here to know more. You can all please be seated and be silent and just, yeah.
Ask them to be silent.
Sure, yes, yeah, okay. This is all very exciting. We are actually understanding about our own sun, right? So it's something very fascinating. It's something which we haven't done before, and very few countries actually in the world have done this before. So We have, therefore, as I was saying, we have different experiments on board, from visible to the X-rays and UV. And then we also have magnetometers, which will be measuring the magnetic field activity of the sun. Especially the one which we are very interested in is the visible emission line coronagraph. This particular instrument will simultaneously make spectroscopic measurements of the solar corona in 3 different lines, which are iron 14, iron 11 and iron 13. So this will simultaneously be done by scanning the sun's surface. By scanning the corona, it will do these measurements, which would be very important, as I said, to understand why the corona is so hot. Okay. So this was developed at the Indian Institute of Astrophysics, Bengaluru, led by Professor Javdev Singh. This is something we are looking forward to getting the data of. With all these scientific advances that you have seen with Chandrayaan, with Aditya L1 and the upcoming space research missions of India, and both in space as well as on ground, it is perfectly valid to say that we are in the dawn of new science and technology in India. And of course, it is an exciting time for astronomy and astrophysics. And I really hope that you will also join us in these excursions in science, which further our understanding of the workings of the universe. I thank you all, and I invite you to the physics department MS 420 for further informations. Thank you.
Thank you. Hello. I'm audible? No? Hello? Hello? Hello?
Hello, check.
Am I audible? Hello? Okay. Thank you, Professor, for this insightful talk. Before moving into the next speaker, I request Professor Bhatnagar to felicitate Professor Supreet Singh. Thank you so much. Now we have our next speaker, Professor S.K. Saha, Professor of IIT Delhi, will be give a talk on robotics to rural technology. Professor has achieved a lot of accomplishment, so we'll be speaking a little part of it. Professor S.K. Saha is a mechanical engineering graduate and awarded the Distinguished Alumni Award for 2022 in the academic and research by NIT Durgapur. He established the Microtronics Laboratory at IIT Delhi in 2001 and contributed significantly in the development of the program for autonomous robotics during the 2010 to 16. He is presently acting as a project director IHFC, a non-profit company of IIT Delhi, India area of robotics. He has also been the visiting faculty at many universities in India and abroad. He was the head of the Department of Mechanical Engineering during 2015 to 2018 and also the vice chairman of GATE JAM GMAT examination during the 2008 to 9. Currently, he is a coordinator of Rural Technology Action Group at IIT Delhi and lot many more. So I welcome you, sir, to this stage. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Good morning. इतने अच्छे अच्छे लेक्चर सुनने के बाद अभी तो मन कर रहा है थोड़ा देखने का तो चले, कब तक का बात सुनने. So I will do something intermediate. देखने से पहले maybe some videos. Okay? And you have heard in the morning Dr. Sijanpal Singh, and he was talking about a person. And I feel very proud that the same person was there in this very room. उन्हीं को सुनने के लिए भी मिला था मेरे को कुछ साल पहले. Anyway, the title I kept is Robotics to Rural Technology. This is the 132nd lecture of this title since 2012. Now talking about robotics, what is robotics and what is rural, right? थोड़ा सा वीडियो तो देखे. So what you are seeing is a mobile robot in a hospital. Okay? And the base of the robot was done by a company which is started by our ex-student. Okay? And this was 2020, just after Corona hit. So in the hospital to deliver goods, right? So this was being developed by the company and tested. Talking about rural, अभी प्रोफेसर झा ने रिक्वेस्ट किया था शांत होने के लिए, उससे पहले डॉक्टर सृजनपाल सिंह जी भी बोला था परसिवियरेंस रखने के लिए. तो हम यहाँ पे वो वाला नहीं सीखेंगे तो लाइफ में मून में कैसे पहुँचेंगे, राइट? सो प्लीज बी पेशेंट एज बेस्ट इज पॉसिबल. लगता है मन करता है बात करने के लिए, मन के बोलो चुप हो जा. 3 Idiots में क्या सिखाया था? रात में जब डर लगता था बोले कोई डर नहीं है, मन को बोलो चुप हो जा बेटे अभी, अब बेटिया जो भी है. So you see the rural on the top, you can see 2 persons are cleaning a carpet. यूपी में एक जगह है भादोही, राइट, वाराणसी से 40 किलोमीटर्स, वहाँ पे ऐसा कारपेट बनता है, सफाई भी होती है. And we have developed a machine way back 2002 जो ऐसे साफ करते हैं. Now many people ask me, सर इसमें तो आप कमाई कम कर रहे हो. I said no, हम कमाई बढ़ा रहे हैं. वो कैसे? Because अभी जो पहले आदमी करते थे, now it is done by a machine. I say ना, those people are paid by the square feet area they clean in a day. So now the machine can do more, so they can earn more. Okay. Now I told at the beginning that this is a lecture series. Why lecture series? These are the 2 reasons. 80% of the Indian engineers are not fit for any job in the knowledge economy. थोड़ा सा old statistics है, but it has not improved drastically. Maybe थोड़ा सा improve हुआ है. So you young people should not fall yourself in the trap of unemployable. So we need to build things, we need to understand with their physics in order to make ourselves employable and make the country grow and rich. The second one is more important to me. हम बोलते हैं India lives in villages, right? So it is a statement from Swami Vivekananda, the education which does not help the common mass, does it what? So whatever you do, please keep these things in mind. First is for yourself, and second one is for the society, as we have been told by Dr. Kalam and been preached by Dr. Singh also. But जो lab देखने के लिए जाओगे, not that all the things what I am showing will be visible, but what has happened out of those labs are demonstrated here. So what you see in this video is called truck simulator. So pilots are trained in what is called the flight simulators. Similarly, the concept is used as a truck simulator by Indian Army. So the bottom portion is called the motion simulator, which is developed at IIT Delhi in Mechatronics Laboratory and handed over to Indian Army. The second one is a work of Haba Atomic Research Centers in Mumbai. So they are automatic assembly of fuel cells. So you know nuclear power plants require fuel cells. And industrial robots have been utilized, but robots are otherwise not so friendly. So in this video what you saw, we're trying to make them little friendly to make it cooperative with a human being. And in this video, what you saw is a teleoperation, and the last one is the automatic assembly, which is happening here. So you can see it is carrying a small cylindrical solid object to be inserted in the cylindrical hole, and it has a combination of several sensors and actuators which are essential part of a robotic system, just like our ears, noses, etc., etc. Now, being an Indian, many times we are not knowing what are the Indian robotic companies are. So here are some list of these things. This is for warehouse automation. Now, many of you order Amazon, Flipkart, so they use this kind of robots. This is another kind of assembly robots, walking robots, medical robots, floor cleaning robots, and then educational robotic devices sold by a company in Pune. Now this is something, I will pause about 5 seconds before I play the video, because this is one company at our IIT campus which made the country proud, being the second this year. Hopefully next year will be the first. Please watch, it's very entertaining. Have you watched this thing? Can you raise your hands? Yes, okay. So this is a company called Botlab Dynamics. No, this is 3,500 drones at the Rashtrapati Bhavan during the Republic Day meeting retreat. It has been demonstrated. All spots are small drones. In their terminology, it's a nano drones, not 10 to the minus 9, but they are small size of this. Okay. And because you are getting impatient, I will leave your enjoyment of watching this in the YouTube videos. So I'll move on. There is a concept called cobot. It is transiting from robot to cobot, and it is collaborative robot where human and robot should work together. Very essential for our country because we do not want people to lose jobs. So you can see how Arun, a professor at this moment at ISM Dhanbad, and he is teaching a robot how to move along a path, and after teaching, robot will be doing its job, what has been learned. And at the bottom picture will depict the difference between a cobot and a robot. Left-hand side, human being can enter the work cell where the robot is working. It will not harm the human being. On the right-hand side, the robot is kept secluded. As soon as human tries to enter, it will stop. Because of all these differences, cobots are being more acceptable these days than the robot. Now you must be wondering, sir, ये तो सब IIT के लिए हो रही है, मेरे लिए क्या? So if you are interested, तुम्हारे लिए क्या? This is a video, what you see on July 7th this year, and I am sure many of you must have participated, if not should have participated. If not last year, please do it this year, okay? And you know this person, I don't have to mention, I just wanted to show you the game. So robot is playing Kancha, okay? And I represent the organization which is conducting this Delhi Robotics League in collaboration with the Delhi government. This year theme will be the same, RoboKancha. So I'm giving you an advance information. So please start preparing RoboCancha this year also, but with more complex rules. That is the only thing it will happen, okay? Okay, now you're thinking, sir, Kancha will come in July. What about next? So if you like coding, so there is a Delhi Hackathon is already up in the website. And January will be the final rounds. So there are interesting topics where you can create apps, programs, stuff like that. Please do take part in large number. It is open for Delhi NCR zone. The last part of my talk is the rural technologies. I have given you an example of rural technology. Let us see another example here where robotics knowledge was also utilized to get to the solution of something which is changing the life of people. I'm sorry about this advertisement because I wanted to give you a direct feel from so you can see this boy is playing a machine which is called, it's like a mini lathe, which is used to form the small spherical balls out of tulsi stem, which is used as a mala in temples. And many women in Bharatpur, in Rajasthan district, they live with the ironing from there. So through this intervention, having robotics knowledge and mechanical engineering knowledge, electrical engineering knowledge, we could change, enhance the income. Okay, so with this, I'm almost through. So here is a software, RoboAnalyzer, which was developed at IIT Delhi to support my book, Introduction to Robotics. And it is trying to tell you thank you. My mobile, email, all are public. So you can take a snapshot and bother me anything you like, any point of time. I will respond during 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. whenever I am relatively free. With this, thank you very much. And thank you very much for being so excited, actually. You know, I could make it out. You're so excited that you cannot stop being silent. So please, enjoy throughout the day after our presentations. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor Shah, for your insightful talk. Now, I would like to request Professor Jha to give a memento to Professor Saha. Thank you so much. I request Professor Jha to provide the instruction for today's event to the audience.
So thank you so much for paying good attention while the sessions was going on. We are almost at the end of the inaugural function. Please stop just before you start moving. Please listen the instructions where you are supposed to go from here. See, unless you pay attention and silence will hold you in this room. Silence, please. May I request everyone to pay silence?
Everyone, please silence for at least 2 minutes. There is an important announcement by Professor Jha, please.
Yeah. So I think what we are just now witnessing is something is not very good actually. If you look at this, yeah. I understand that we have a limit of patience actually. That's what we have not crossed much time right now. 11 o'clock anyway has been planned to be a closer for this inaugural function. I know that some of things that has been shown not of your direct interest, that is also fine. But we have learned this discipline in the schools actually. So I am just expecting the same when I am requesting you to just pay attention for 2 minutes, not more than, because I am not going to hold you much in this room. Only trying to share some of the instructions which are important to go outside. Fine. So inaugural function is all done. Thank you very much for your attention, what you have paid right now. Thanks for the distinguished speakers who have shared their learning and understanding. With this, we are almost at the closure of this inaugural function. There are snacks arranged for all of you who are inside this hall, and those who have also been watching the program in the lecture hall complex because of the limit on the sitting capacity in this hall. Please understand there are 2 exit gates through this hall. If you exit from the 3rd gate, you may not get the snacks. So that's an important message to share with you. So one exit is on this side. You have to come from there. You have to just exit from this side. That's one gate. So half of you can exit from this gate. Half of you can exit from that gate. Yeah, that gate. Yeah. So volunteers are there. After you leave this hall, please collect your snack box because we have already taken your time. It's 11 o'clock. Let's get something in on your stomach because then only you will be able to move around. And please move to the lecture hall complex. Please understand that you should not move on this side of the departments. You have to move to the lecture hall complex. So take your snacks, move to the lecture hall complex, then enjoy the day. Thank you so much for your attention. We are now at the closure of the inaugural function. Thank you. So please move silently. Easy. Snack is for everyone. Let's not rush it. Please move silently. Make a queue. Thank you, sir.